Okay, so we're going to look at box and whisker plots and work out how to read them. What information does it give us? Now, of course, a box and whisker plot only comes about either after you've found the 5-number summary or, as we did in this one, we graphed it so that it would show us the 5-number summary. So that's the first thing we can do, is read the 5-number summary from it. I've prepared a box down here so that we can put in the results that we find. So I take a look at this box and whisker plot up here, which I've called right data. That'll become obvious later. And I've got this number down here, 319, and number up the top, 1505. Clearly, my minimum is my 319, and my maximum is the 1505. Now, these results come from our reaction times from the experiment that we did. So we're talking about milliseconds here. Q1 is my small number next to the minimum, which is 531.75. My median is that number that's looking a little bit squishy there, and I can actually make my graph larger so that I can read it more easily, but what I've done there is covered up my table. So I'm just going to put it back again because I can see that it's 576.5. And the Q3 is my 1099. Okay, so there's my 5-number summary, which the graph has given me rather than my having to find it first. So I have the smallest value, the quickest time, that is 319 milliseconds, which is really fast. The maximum 1505, which is like a second and a half that it took. So even though it seems a long way from 319, it's really nothing. It's still quite fast. But most of the results happen between 1099 and 531.75. That's what the box tells us. The box says that most of the results happened in that kind of a range. Now, the median, which is the very middle amount, you can see is really close down here to Q1. So we're saying that the middle value, if that's right down here, then there must have been a lot of values that were actually quite small. Now, in the center here, I don't know if you can see it, that X and 781.9, that's actually very handily, that's the mean, 781.9. So the mean, remember, is the average. So we also know the average is 781.9. We might say 782. Still really fast, like we're talking under a second. The range is when we take the maximum minus the minimum. Now, if you can't work that out in your head, remember you put equals for a formula, 1505, take 319, press enter, and it tells me the range is 1,186 numbers, basically, that it covers. Now, we've got to remember we're talking about, that's 1,186 milliseconds. So we're still talking just over a second. And the range therefore goes from 0 to, just over a second between them. All right, so what am I looking at again? I can get this data from my box and whisker plot. I can get the minimum, the maximum, etc. But what I'm most interested in is this box in the middle, because the box says that's where most of the results were. So was this person, was their reaction time consistent or not very consistent? Is there too great, a range? Now, we might say, oh, gee, that box there looks fairly large, but we're still talking between just over a second, 1099 and 531.75. So between half a second and a second, I think, oh, that's not bad. That's pretty fast. And so I kind of think, given that we're talking milliseconds, I think that's not a bad range. But do we need to compare it to other people to really get a good idea of that? Okay, let's do that. I have prepared, where's it gone? Okay, I might have to just make this page go down a little bit lower. Nope, it's not going to show it to me. Okay. My bar here is just on top of what I need, so I'm going to have to slide it up a bit. There we go. And let's take a look at this other sheet. Here I've got 2 lots of data. That's why I called one left data and one right data. Now, the one we were just looking at is this one here, right data. Now, in order for me to compare it to left data, which is someone else and their results, I need to be able to compare these two box and whisker plots kind of like with the same information, with the same axis. Can you see this vertical axis for the left data goes up to 7,000? So that's 7 seconds. This person is clearly slower than the person that did right data. Remember over here, the right data maximum is just over 1.5 seconds. In order for us to really compare these two, we need to have them on the same scale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the scale of the right data, or I have to minimize the scale on the left data. I'm going to work on the left data. So I double tap it, there we go, and then I press the right button and I format axis. And I'm going to say, let's now, a little box has come up on the right hand side and it's asking me for the display units, which says none. I'm going to change it and I'm going to make it hundreds. Then I'm going to do the same for my right data. I'm going to press the right, format axis, same thing again. I've got that box coming up on the far right hand side that is out of your view, and I say hundreds. Now I've got both axes in hundreds, but this goes 0, 10, 20, and the right data goes 0, 2, 4. I want them to be the same. For that to happen, I'm going to have to shrink my right data until it comes out to being 10, 20, 30. Still going a little bit smaller and smaller again. Oh, we're getting there. Now we've got 5, 10, 15. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to bring this down here because here is my line here for 10 on my left data. I want that to match up with my line for 10. Whoops, don't want to move that around. Here on my other lot of data so that I'm looking at the same thing at the same time. But you can see my zeros are almost right. My 20 is just a little bit out, so I'm going to go a little bit smaller. Let's see if we can get that right. That looks like 20, 10 and 0. Look, that's pretty good. They've matched pretty closely. So the 20s line up, the 10s line up and the 0s line up. Now I can look at these two lots of results really kind of at the same time and say, okay, now looking at this, I can see the person with the right data is a lot more consistent. They are much faster than the person with the left data. That tiny squished up little box tells me that there's not a big difference between their Q1 and their Q3, which we call the interquartile range. Now, the mean, if you can just see it under there, that was that 7.81. The mean over here is 22.79. So the average, the mean of the left data is much greater again. But just looking at the boxes and where the minimum and the maximum go, the minimum is much smaller for the right data than for the left data. The maximum for the left data is much higher than the maximum on the right data. It's about 4 times what it is of the right data. But just looking at those boxes, a little squishy box like that in Box and Whisker says there's not much difference between the Q1 and the Q3, and that means that it's pretty consistent data. Whereas with the left data, that large box there says there's a lot of difference, a lot of variation in their reaction speeds. That's how we compare two alongside of each other, and we could do 3 or 4 or any amount more after that. So I'm looking at my minimum, my Q1, my median, my Q3, my maximum. I look for my 5-number summary. I compare the size of the box in the middle. That tells me how much variation there is. And I can look at the mean or the average as well, which is sort of in the background there. That's what I'm comparing, but I must have the same kind of scale before I can do that.